You guys buckle your seatbelts because for today I'm taking you on the journey with the action camera. We're gonna get all the shots of me cleaning a back patio top to bottom, just give you tips and tricks along the way. Woo! She's a dirty one. Woo! Yeah, buddy. What's going on, Wash fam? My name is Rusty. If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. This is all about pressure washing, paver sealing, soft washing, all that fancy stuff. But I have tons of cool content for you guys to check out. Today we are doing a very valued client of mine. We do this property at least once or twice a year. It's in kind of like a woodsy area, so it gets filthy very quickly, and you will see what I'm talking about here in a second. But before we do that, very quickly, huge shout out to C3 Skids, big supporter of the channel. Look at this rig, you guys. Look at this sexy mama right here. So I'll break it down really quick, just in case you guys are interested in a complete rig like this or just anything on it. You can check out shopc3.com. Best customer service in the market. We have the Comet P40 soft wash system, Honda IGX 800 fuel injected pressure washer, that's 10 GPM. We have the Maverick spray systems back here for our paver sealing, spraying degreasers, things of that nature. 2 7-gallon soap tanks, and those are metered off of the proportioning system right here. And how I switch between tanks is this one and this one. So if I want soap, this one will be on, this is off, and again metered through that soap valve. And typically we run neutralizer wax guard through here. Amazing product, but I would just switch this one on, this one off, and that's how I switch between 2 soap tanks. Moving on, we have 3 electric hose reels, 18-inch drums, high pressure hose, soft wash hose, garden hose. You can see that's hooked up to the water right now. We're getting that water tank full just on a cam lock system. So I have 100-foot sections of garden hose set up to here, so I don't need to unravel the whole thing, and it's just directly feeding to my tank through a filter. Don't want any gunk in the tank going straight in there. And this thing is the bread and butter of the trailer. This is the C3 Fusion Max. This allows me to proportion all my chemicals. If I want a house wash mix, I'm on 1.5% here. If I need a roof wash mix, 4. If I need some super strong chemicals, 6%. And if I need pure SH, say to transfer it, turn off the water, there you go, done. Soap valve. We're typically running this on anywhere from 1.5 to 2, depending on how bad we need soap. But of course, the soap in the tank is C3 Blue Crush or Lemon Drop. Those are my 2 favorite. So we always have it on hand. Look at this stuff, you guys. It's like alien snot. This is the best surfactant soap I have tried. And then here's the Blue Crush. These 2 are my absolute favorite. They spread so far, they smell so good. They just deliver everything I want out of a surfactant soap. But moving on around the trailer, 100-gallon chem tank. We're full, we're overflowing. 325-gallon water tank. We got our surface cleaner back here, some storage back here, brooms, brushes, extra fuel cell to run the pressure washer, and that's it on the rig, you guys. So enough of that. If you like any of that stuff, check out shopc3.com. Let's get into this back patio. It is very filthy. So before we get started and I explain the game plan, you guys, I just want to show you what we're working with today. So as you can see, tons of organic growth, tons of debris in this back patio, tons of mold, algae on the screens, which we are going to take care of. So first things first, you guys, I get tons of people reaching out to me saying they have issues cleaning the mold and algae off the screen. You have to understand that a lot of the times this organic growth is growing from the outside. You can't just treat the cage from the inside and then rinse. You're going to need to hit the outside as well as the inside. So let's start applying chemical on the outside and then we'll work our way to the inside. And I'm on a 2% mix, you guys. Typically for a cage and pool deck that's not in this condition, I wouldn't be this hot, but because of how bad this is, I just want to work a little quicker. I want this stuff to be melting on the first application. I don't want to be doing multiple applications. And this 2% mix is going to also be the pre-treat for this deck. The plan of attack with the deck is just going to be a pre-treat and then a surface clean on lower PSI. So first things first, you guys, we are going to treat the screens and the cage. And just from doing that alone, it's going to pre-treat most of this deck. So once we're done treating the cage, we'll look around, like areas like this where I'm not hitting the cage will need it. But most of this deck will be treated when we do the cage. So working top to bottom, of course. So let's just applicate our soap on this cage, water some vegetation, and then we will be rinsing and surface cleaning. And how I like to start the cage, you guys, is you see the angle that I'm facing right now. I hit everything that is facing me from this angle, and then I will go to the other side over there and hit the few things that need to be hit this way. So if that sounded kind of confusing, just watch how I applicate the cage. And look at this P40, you guys. This thing is a game changer. I'm standing, you know, I'm not moving, having to get directly under the beams that I'm spraying. I'm just standing all the way at the back of the cage, and I can soak everything with my mix from here. Just helps with the efficiency of the job. Helps with me not getting soaked by my mix. The biggest thing I hear people complain about is, oh, you know, you're wasting so much chemical and this and that. And when you learn how to use this machine, for one, you're not really using that much more chemical than you would with a 12 volt. But with that said, even if I am using a little more chemical, I'm not too worried about it. I would rather lose a few bucks on chemical than I would, you know, being done with the job hours earlier with the right equipment. So I'll link this machine in the video description. You guys can check it out. Everyone that I've recommended this machine to, they're like, wow, I wish I did that so much sooner. So now we're just gonna go this way, you guys, and apply the beams that we couldn't hit from the other angle. And once I go from this section down there, we will have everything applied. And typically when we're doing these, the only thing I'm missing from the other side is beams like this one, and then these larger beams. I'm missing that angle from the other side, so that's the other side that we just applied from is getting the majority of it. This is just those back side of the beams that we cannot hit. We'll give these screens a little more love because they were absolutely green. So we're gonna switch to water on the remote system. We'll water this vegetation, you know, out here up against the screens over there, and then we'll get to rinsing the cage. Actually, we'll treat this deck a little better before I switch to water. We're just gonna treat this whole back patio, you guys. I'm gonna clean walls, window frames, this furniture, not furniture, these little storage bins and tabletops. We're just gonna clean it all. We always do that on this job and most of our jobs regardless. Makes you stand out, shows them that you did a little extra, and it's probably why we come back here every single year. So I know I said hitting the cage will get, you know, the pre-treat done for the majority of this, but typically it does. But just because of the condition that this one is in, we're gonna give it some extra hot sauce so we're not fighting that growth with the surface cleaner. We just want it to come off like butter. Let's go switch to water, and we will get to rinsing this cage and screens. Big thing I've learned is, like that saying, out before in, they always say. That's what we're gonna do with cleaning cages. So always hit the outside first. That way you're blowing debris that's resting on the inside into the deck. And then you can rinse it when you're rinsing the ground. And then you hit the outside, then you hit the inside out after that. This is just gonna make your job so much easier. You're not hitting the inside, getting it all perfect, and then hitting the outside, blowing stuff back in, and then having to do double work on the inside. Just do the outside first if you have to hit the outside of the cage. So all we're doing here is hitting the beams, hitting all the hardware, not letting SH just soak and sit on them. Just soaking it down very thoroughly. That's all we're going for here. I like to hit these screens at a bit of an angle. I just feel like you get more agitation on that mold and algae rather than hitting it straight in. A lot of the times if you just hit it straight on like this, a lot of your water and or soap when you're applying is just kind of going right through the cage. So hit it at an angle. You can see I'm getting a lot of that debris and gunk off, and I'm getting a good water flow going rather than it just all turning into mist and going straight through. Something worth mentioning as we rinse this cage, you guys, we're going to rinse just like we applied. So again, I'm gonna hit everything from this front angle going left to right, and then we're gonna go on the opposite side, hit everything facing this way, just like I applied it, same exact thing, just now for rinsing. And also for the debris up in the cage, you guys, I do that last. I don't do it as I'm working left to right, just because say I hit these beams and then I blow the debris off, I'm probably gonna get more of this debris back over there. So I always take care of the beams first, and then I'll push all the debris out a certain way, depending on the wind, depending where it's super built up. But just again, another tip to be more efficient, not double working, not going over areas you already hit. Two things really quick, you guys. Number one, let me know down in the comments what type of content you like best. When I'm out on the job just doing a complete knowledge transfer, and just kind of explaining the process as I go. Do you like the at-home content when I'm sitting at the desk explaining stuff? I've been doing a little mix of both lately, so let me know what you like best down in the comments. And another thing worth mentioning, the second thing I want to tell you guys, these tips and techniques that I'm giving you, especially for this pool cage, is also beneficial to me not getting soaked by my mix, getting soaked by my water. You know, obviously the power of this P40 helps a lot with that. When you have a 12-volt system, you have to get a lot closer to the surface you're applicating. Therefore, wind is going to be pushing everything back to you in the wrong spot. It's just, I just don't like being soaked by my mix. I see some guys, you know, they don't care, but I don't want this stuff soaking into my skin. I try to be mindful of these things. So if you follow these methods that I'm sharing with you, you're going to work much more efficient, and a little bonus, you are going to be much more dry at the end of your day as well. And that's to an extent, of course. It's unavoidable for the most part, but you can avoid a lot of it. All right, since that area is dripping, we're gonna go back around, start on this side, and then hit that angle that I talked about, you know, facing the house. Give these plants some water, give them a good soak down one last time. I'll probably end up watering them again when we have the pressure washer out. Just kind of periodically water them throughout the day, but they'll be fine. Some sturdy plants back here. And other than this, there's not much vegetation at all. Okay, wind is definitely blowing this way. That's why I was not feeling any mist from the other side, but get these spots rinsed, in and out, not getting soaked. Not today. I should have done this earlier, you guys, but before I fully rinse down these window frames, window seals, just splash some water on them, like so, just so you're not getting that mix drying up on the windows. But luckily it's a gloomy day, not a lot of heat back here, so I know for a fact nothing dried up on these windows. You can pretty much tell before you rinse them, but let's just splash some water on here to be safe. And then we'll give it a full, thorough detail when we get to this section of the property. Okay, and for you guys that were paying attention to the workflow of the screen, I want to go into a little more detail to further help you guys out, because this will help you, again, not double work. So you see this panel right here? I'm going to blow this panel, this panel, this panel, this whole side. I'm going to blow to the left first. So that's going to be out of the way. And then these panels moving forward, including these, I'm going to be pushing all that way and that way on some of these panels, just because from here I might not be able to fully push these pine needles out through the back over here. So we're going to work down and left all the way to the end after we take care of this section first. It's just easier to push these panels this way rather than trying to push it that way. Man, some of these pine needles are stubborn, and also this side of the screen enclosure needs some more chem. There is some organic standing left there. Probably needs a hotter mix, so we will use the pump sprayer with a 50-50 to take care of that. Very tedious work here with the pine needles, but getting out as much as I can is just going to make this job look that much better. And that's another great thing about this P40, you guys, is it has just enough flow and pressure to where I can really get in on these pine needles and debris on the cage without damaging the screen, you know. Sometimes when you use a pressure washer, you're on that fine line with a shooter tip of kind of damaging or loosening the seals on these. But with this P40, you know, it's not super high PSI like a typical pressure washer. And obviously a 12 volt is not nearly enough to push the debris out of this cage. And if you did, it would take a very long time. All right, you guys, cage and screens is done. We're gonna rinse the window frames, walls out here next. Good to go. You'll see a little bit of debris, very minor. Like we said, we get, hi puppy. We get 99% of it off, but compared to before, this cage and these screens are looking absolutely beautiful. Bye puppy. There is going to be remaining stains like these mud dauber nest over here. We'll knock the majority of them down. They're going to leave some stains behind, but since we have to hit this panel and a couple of these panels with strong SH, we will treat that and maybe agitate it with a brush after we rinse it, and then these will be absolutely spotless. But let's just move on, get these walls rinsed down so we can get to the fun part and start cleaning up this deck. Now is when I will thoroughly rinse these window frames, sliding doors, all the glass. Now is my final rinse. Other than the bottoms, when we do the surface cleaning in here, I'll have to re-rinse like that area, but that's not a huge deal. We'll get the majority of it now. Also a good tip worth mentioning, you guys, you see how the doors slide from right to left? Don't blow in at this angle because the water will get through there. I like to blow this way, and I'm not getting water in the creases of where these sliding doors meet. Yeah, I don't even have to surface clean up here, you guys. This area wasn't too dirty, and it's rinsing right out. So we'll just surface clean mainly the pool deck where the bad growth is. It's also chipping away a lot up here, which makes me nervous to surface clean. We may take a different approach to this deck. It's flaking up just with me rinsing with the Comet, especially in this area over here. It's an older deck, so it's not in the best condition. So we might switch our plan of attack, just do a rinse and then a post treat, but that means I gotta move the soft wash out of the way, bring it back. But I think that's the route we're gonna have to go here because, again, another spot like this, I know with that surface cleaner, even at a low PSI, it's probably gonna dig up more of this deck than I want to. So that's the plan, let's do that. I'm gonna get the soft wash system turned off out of the way. We might leave it out just because we're gonna have to post treat and probably rinse again, but it's better safe than sorry than trying to be a little bit quicker and surface clean everything. It definitely would be more efficient, but let's do the safer approach and soft wash and rinse this deck as well. Here's something cool worth mentioning. I have to throw it on the rig, but this is a custom C3 pump up sprayer bracket. So I'll post the link down in the description. I think it's like 80 bucks. It's super worth it. I need to throw it on my trailer still. But anyway, just so these pump sprayers aren't flying all over the place in the back of your truck like mine are, tilting over in your trailer, you simply mount that bracket and then boom, throw 2 pump sprayers. You can get another bracket, throw 4 pump sprayers. But this thing is awesome. I'm really excited to put this on the trailer and stop having my pump sprayers fly all over the place. So when there is 2 doors, you guys, typically I just like to cut the deck in half and then push some left, some right. That will depend on the flow and the puddling of certain spots, but that's what we're gonna do. If we have to switch it up a little bit, then we will, but let's start rinsing this deck. We're not going for perfection. Again, scraping the majority of it off, but this spottiness, the remaining organic growth in here is going to be taken care of with that strong post-treatment chemical. This half is done, you guys. As you can see, we started over there, rinsed everything this way, got all the major gunk and debris, but let's just continue on, keep rinsing this side of the deck, everything out that way, and then we'll be able to post apply and make our decision from there. Man, this one needed some love. Woo! Yeah, buddy. Show that next customer you actually care about your company. Alright, SH is still doing its job, you guys, but as you can see already, it's been like 3 to 5 minutes that we were back here post-treating, but already clearing up all that striping, all that remaining organic growth. Looks absolutely beautiful. It's still got a little more work to do, which it's doing, but just from experience, I know for a fact we don't need to rinse all this. We're gonna let it do its job. We're just gonna let it sit and remain here and dry up so it keeps this deck cleaner for a longer period of time. So as this is still working, we're gonna touch up this area. Got a little more rinsing to do. Picked some weeds, picked all the weeds out of the gutter line. But let's do the final touches and then one last walkthrough of the final job. Alrighty, everything wrapped up, ready to go. We're good to head off to the next job. But let's go take a look in the back. It's had time to dry up, to eat a little bit more of that SH as we wrapped up. So let's take a look. I will post some before and afters so we can see the complete transformation. That is a wrap, you guys. This job is done and dusted. This is where the video ends. I've got 2 driveways to do closer to home, so I'm gonna take care of those. No more filming for the day. If you made it this far, please, please, please like the video. Let's push this video to a bunch of entrepreneurs in the wash industry that need it. And by you hitting that thumbs up, it lets YouTube know, hey, this dude's got a cool video. Let's show it to more people. But anyways, as always, YouTube, much love. I will see you in the next video. Peace.